I'm really happy and decided to come back to the channel and watch another one of my videos. And you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell button to help the channel out. Working on the Big Lots trailer. Today, we're working on the air lines, or air brakes. This line here was plugged up, so I went ahead and I used this down there at the tandems where they already had this connected, blew it this way. Then I came up here and I put it on here with this off, and I blew air up in here to make anything that was in there come out of here, because this is a bigger opening than this. One of the problems that I run into was when I was doing all this and I was working on the line to make sure it was all clear, I went ahead and I grabbed hold of the line and it just decided to break. It's kind of a little brittle. See? So I got 5 feet of new line that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to replace the line. I also got a ferrule and a quick coupler, which I'm going to need the quick coupler tied into the existing line, and I'm going to need this ferrule to be able to hook it back up to that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath the trailer, because right now there's a hole. I don't know if you can see my fingers up in here moving around. There's a hole down here where the air line goes into. I don't want to cut this because it keeps the lines pretty tight, but if I cut it down there where it's good, I should be able to pull this brittle one up out or down out, one way or the other, and go ahead and feed the new line in. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to see what I'm doing up in the hole, so trying to put the camera in there is not going to work. I'm going to be pretty much doing this all by feel. So unfortunately, I can't show you exactly what I'm doing because I'm not going to be able to see what I'm doing. I ended up having to cut this plastic. I don't know if you can tell about the glue that's in there, but yeah, it was glued in there. So I wound up cutting it to get this new line in. So what I did was the next best thing. I found a piece of hose. I sliced it lengthwise, put it down in here where the lines would rub, and then I wire tied it real tight here so it can't go anywhere. It can't go down because of the curve, and when you feel inside, it's in there good ways, and it can't come back up out because this is where the lines actually spread out. So it's wire tied, so it can't go anywhere. It'll protect the lines against the steel, even though there's a rubber grommet there. I just didn't feel safe with that because it's old and brittle. So I went ahead and did that and put the new line on. Now I'm going to go ahead and hook up my apparatus here to see if we have air going through to the other end at a good rate, because before we didn't have very much air coming out the other end. That's why I went ahead and blew it out the other way, blew the air, the glad hand on the trailer out to try and get all the dirt and everything that was blocking it up out. And then that's when I found out about the line being brittle, when I started messing with it. So it's a good thing I found out now than when the trailer was going down the road, and because once the trailer has brakes, and if this line breaks, it's going to lock up the trailer, and unless you have some line with you and the tools and the pieces to put another line in, you're kind of dead in the water unless you caged brakes and pull it without brakes. But now I'm going to go ahead and fire the air compressor back up, hook the air compressor back up to here, see what we have coming out the other end. We got good airflow now. I'm going to take my thumb off and I'm going to stay quiet so you can hear. So now we're doing good as far as that goes. Now I got to hook it back up and see what's going on. Why they disconnected it. I can hear the air airing up the air tank. All right, I'm going to have to go and let this go and then go set the air off and hook it up and fire the compressor back up. Having trouble with the compressor today. and see if the brakes are going to be releasing. I'll take a tape measure down, measure the slack adjusters before I put air to it, see how many inches it is away from the brake chambers, and then I'll supply air. I'll measure it again to see if the brake chambers or the slack adjusters move. I'm under the trailer right now. I'm only going to show one measurement. This is the driver's side front slack adjuster right here, brake chamber. I'm going to measure all four. Just for video, I'm only going to show measuring one. So right now, there to the brake chamber, not the brake chamber bracket, but the brake chamber itself, running along the arm where it goes into the brake chamber. As you can see, the measurement here, I mean, you don't have to be exact, as long as you're close, because I mean, this slack adjuster is going to move probably about an inch, so we're just over 7 inches on this one. So when I supply air, we should have a different measurement. Now I'm going to measure all four, that way I can tell if there's one not working. And after I find out what the measurements are on the other, which should be this close or the same, then I'll go put air to the system, give it a minute to charge the entire system up, see if there's a change. There should be. We had rain the last few days. During the rainstorm, I came out, looked inside the trailer, found out more work that I have involved that I got to do. There's several active water leaks inside the trailer. Somebody put a piece of metal over a hole, which I don't like, which means I'm going to have to pull that up, put a couple pieces of wood because it's right there where the two boards come together. Like the last trailer, I'm going to have to put a threshold plate in because this one's rusted also. When I go to pull it up, it's going to be ruined. I just measured this one and I got a different measurement. Here I got like 9 inches. Well, there could be a couple different reasons for that. The brakes are out of adjustment, which I already know that because the trailer rolls by itself. If the brakes were in adjustment and I got that measurement, there could be a couple reasons. One could be somebody replaced the brake chamber, cut one of the rods too short or cut it too long, or it could be a brake chamber not working at all, being stuck. When I go to put air to the trailer, yeah, I'll find out one way or the other whether the brake chambers are stuck or not, because one I got a 7-inch, one I got 9-inch. I'm going to go back and check the other ones. If I get the same exact measurements, then I know the brake chambers are not working, or if I get the same exact measurement on one of them, I know that one is not working. Today is the first time that I've been underneath this trailer. I've never been underneath this trailer before today, and I discovered when I got back here to the back axle to make my measurements why I had a 7 on that one and 9 on the rest. And right there, if you can see, somebody has a caging bolt in that one. That's why we have a different measurement. All the rest of them I got a 9-inch measurement from. I got air to the trailer right now, and I heard a lot of banging, so I'm assuming the thing is aired up. And now when I started with this one, I was at 9. If you can tell, I'm at 7 right there. Well, 7.5. So that one pulled in. So now I got to measure the other ones the same way at the same place. Okay, this one here, we have no change for some reason. I don't know why. I'll go ahead and get some tools and mess with the slack adjuster. It might be that it's just stuck. I do not know at this point. But that one there, I'm going to have to take the caging bolt out, see if it stays at 7. These here are the 7/16 ones, which I have the tool to go ahead and make the adjustments. And I'll go ahead and I'll adjust, and then I'll take the air away, see if we get a change. I've adjusted the brakes now with air to them, and the caging bolt, this bolt right here, I put air to it and tightened down on the brake. It came right out. I didn't have to use a wrench at all. Now, as you can see, we're just under 7 inches, and we got the same measurement for all 4. Now I'm going to go and take away the air pressure, drain the system, see what kind of measurement we get. Okay, I went ahead and took the air line off, then I opened up the glad hand to allow the air escape. Now we're going to measure this. Now remember, we had about a 7-inch. Now we have about an 8-inch. And it's the same on that one too. The brakes are working. Just like the turn signals, I do not understand why they did what they did. Why would you cage a brake? A system that's actually working, I don't know. Like I said about the turn signals, I probably will never understand why these people did what they did. I'll get my rest of my apparatus for the glad hands, apply air, release the brakes, the parking brakes, and then I'll supply air to the service brakes. Now these are all adjusted. I'll listen, and I already got my measurements for when the brakes are released. If I come under here with the air supplied to the service side and I get the same measurement I get right now, in other words about an 8, then I know the service brakes will work, which I'm kind of expecting them to be working, because I really don't understand why they did what they did. I'll let you know when I get all that set up. All the brakes are applied, and we got 8.5, and I've already checked the other 3 and they're the same. So the brakes are working. All I did up there at the front was replace that line where there was dirt and stuff inside the line, and then I came back here, took that caging bolt out, and went ahead and adjusted the brakes. Now I have no clue why they did what they did. The parking brakes, I didn't hear no air leaks whatsoever. They're working. The service brakes, they're working, but I do hear an air leak. So what I'll probably do is I'll go ahead and get one of these and replace it, but it's a brake air valve, and it's not that hard to replace. I mean, it's got 2 lines, one coming in the top, one coming in the side. Okay, it has 2 bolts holding it on, and more than likely they'll break. That's not a big deal. Just put new bolts in there. I'll go ahead and replace that. Brakes work. The service brakes work. Parking brakes work. I appreciate you coming back to the channel and everything. I want everybody to have a better day and have a great 2025. Hopefully everything gets a lot better for everyone. Come on back. Thank you, and have a great day.